morning. I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Library of Ruina. Today, the floor of natural sciences? Yes, that is the name. Very good. The floor of natural sciences, revisiting more and more floors to try out builds, to see how they do, to kind of refamiliarize myself with the game, which we're probably going to stop soon because I have to do Canto 7 in Limbus, but we will then continue afterwards, so it's all good. But today will be a little bit different for reasons we'll get into in a minute. But first of all, let me take you through the builds. Yes, we start with Tifrith. As we know, the phrase behind Tifrith is the expectation for the meaning of existence, which is a difficult thing to convey into a combat style. So instead, going by the comment I received, I looked at Tifrith a bit more literally in terms of what she's done, how was her experiences. We kind of did this with Netic as well, but back in LobCorp, there's all spoilers for LobCorp, I suppose, but if you'll probably at least know about LobCorp if you've played Ruina, there was obviously the two Tifriths, and I can't remember their normal names, so I'm not going to bother trying. But male Tifrith was not in a good way, and our Tifrith tried to keep him kind of safe, as it were, kept the work away from him, tried to pick up his slack, as it were. So that gave me the impression of Tifrith being the kind of character who had tried to solve everything herself. Now, I did think about how that might go well into a solo build in which she is literally trying to take care of everything herself, but I don't really like solo builds very much, gotta be honest. This does come down to personal preference. I just don't like solo builds. I like using the whole team because a big part of everything I'm doing here is that I have all of these nuggets that fans submitted back when we were doing the series, and I've grown to appreciate these nuggets, all of them except for Asterically, who I promptly got rid of. So I didn't want to do a solo build, but I did kind of want to lean into the idea of Tifrith trying to handle everything herself, and it felt like the purple tier was the way to do that, and we'll go into this. So, she has the purple tiers page, speed 3, manipulator of odds, and changing stances. I gave her the 12 fixes, Lock's Potential, and Raging Torrent. I'm playing off the idea here that Lock's Potential will come into play because she has 3 different decks. 4 even. She has 4 different decks, which means playing 6 different cards is not going to be difficult. Because she has 9, 18, 27, she has 36 cards. We're going to get 6, I think, and get Lock's Potential going. Drawing a page will be useful when she's swapping between the decks, and 12 fixes, roll value better, higher value. So when she rolls minimum, which is higher, she will also get a chance to re-roll it, and then the maximum roll value will go up, which will make that better. It's basically ensuring that her rolls are pretty much at the higher scale of what they can be. The only downside, I guess, is there's not a lot of power gain, but a lot of her stances have power gain intrinsically. But let's actually go through these. So, we'll start with the Slash deck. I should point out that I've never really tried to lean into the Purple Tier's idea of using multiple decks. I usually just spec'd into one and was done with it. Here, I'm actually going to try and have her switch styles, right, to see what I can get to work. Slash is very obviously Singular Strike pilled. We don't have Singular Strike, but the purpose of the Slash deck is to deal with ranged attacks or high-rolling attacks that only need 1 die to deal with. Tackle Mount would be an example, but we might not be doing that today. But yeah, she's got 3 Class and Respects, 3 Burning Flashes, and 3 Violet Blades. This isn't necessarily designed to work on its own. It's designed for a specific purpose, as I'm sure you could tell. But there is Light Regain, there's Burning Flash, which can add more die to it, and then obviously Violet Blade can roll exceptionally high with all of the power bonuses and such, and her ability to re-roll low values and to increase the lowest value, so it could be quite good. Also comes with a counter die, which is nice. We move on to Pierce, and Pierce has 2 Brace Ups, Guide to the Gears, 2 Taste Tests, Fleet Edge, Venomous Fangs, Laceration, and Celestial Spear. I kind of intended this to be a bit more of a overall problem solver, like we have our Mass Attack contention in here, for example. Venomous Fangs. There is a bit of status application here, but I haven't really leaned into it. Probably should have, frankly. I felt like if I leaned into the status application of the Pierce deck, I would then try and stay on Pierce, whereas I really kind of want to be swapping through. So I wanted to get stuff like, Venomous Fangs, so we are actually inflicting stuff. Fleet Edge to give her more haste, which will help in future turns, just make her a little bit faster. Laceration, obviously, Mass Attack contention. Celestial Spear draws. Guidance to the Gear restores light. Brace Up draws. This could probably do with more light gain, actually. I don't know. This is going to be messy. I've never really played with this concept before. Blunt. The blunt deck is 3 forward marches, 2 high kicks, 2 Great Serpents Impact, and duel. I'm not really sure what the idea was behind this, to be honest. I don't know. I think maybe damage. I think maybe what I was going for was damage. Especially stagger damage from Great Serpent's Impact. It's a deck. And finally, Guard. The Guard deck is Smoking Pipe, Grace of Grass, Gap Attack, Smoke Smash, Parry, Seize Your Chance, Critical Moment, Serpentine Barrier, and beyond. The Guard deck is kind of designed for a situation in which Tifrith might find herself alone, or being targeted by overwhelming numbers of attacks, right? When things are not going well, things are going very poorly, and this will hopefully provide us with a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card. 3 counter die, 2 counter die, 1 which can be reused, even more so. Blocks and counter die. Stuff we can work with. Smoke Smash with increased defense values is amazing because you can dodge like 90% of the attacks in the game with that thing. It is really good. Obviously having smoke would help, but we've not really spec'd into that. Hers is very experimental, and the requirement to build 4 different decks and kind of give them all different themes and ideas convinces me that there will be many problems with her build. Because we're building more, there's more things that can go wrong, right? So I am convinced that Tifrith will not turn out particularly well, but I've given it a try, at the very least. We move on to Swirled, and with Swirled, I'm kind of thinking of what we did with Lemon, but more offensive rather than defensive. So Philip's Page, once again, which has Speed 3, Nuovo, Fabric, Flaring Brand, Plume Escutcheon, Volatile Passion, and Overheat, but I've also given him Swordplay of the Homeland, Light of Daybreak, and Offensive Position, for more of a focus on offense rather than defense, dealing damage. 2 Class and Respect. 3 Serpent Sword techniques, Flow of the Sword, Crack of Dawn, because I love it, Fiery Waltz, and Fervent Emotions. Now, it's not necessarily about spreading burn around a lot, it's just making sure an enemy has burn so that Swirled can get a power bonus from it. We've got bonuses to our slash die, and pretty much almost everything here is slash die. Offensive Position provides more strength at the cost of being more fragile. Kind of leans into being the opposite of Lemon in that respect. Serpent Sword for card draw, because they'll roll relatively well. Class and Respect will roll well. Flow of the Sword becomes cheaper later on and inflicts burn, which will be crucial. Crack of Dawn is actually useful for providing protection to other allies. And the second die is a good clasher that inflicts burn. Fiery Waltz, if we manage to inflict enough burn on an enemy, we can spread it to other enemies, and that's good. And then Fervent Emotions can become quite powerful, especially with what we've got going. The first die more than the second die, but the second die will still gain power, and it has a counter die. It is quite expensive, but we'll probably be alright. I don't know. We'll see. I guess at the end of the day, the idea here is a more offensive-focused character with decent clashing ability and the potential for high damage, mostly over time, but also instantly as well. With a little bit of an ability to actually help allies, but also on successful hit deal extra stagger damage if the target has burn, we have multiple means by which to inflict more stagger damage, which I think will help. Whilst the world is afflicting themselves with Fragile, they also have Nuovo Fabric, which helps to mitigate that a bit. We move on to Ruina. And I decided that Ruina always struck me as a more offensive character anyway, focused more on offense. And it occurred to me that I'd always made smoke decks that were more defensive. I really liked my defensive smoke decks. It's what I used for my character specifically because I like them so much and they can become wildly effective. I wanted to try my hand, probably unsuccessfully, at an aggressive smoke deck. So we've got Ye's Page with Speed 3, Puffy Broom, Smoke Overflow, Excess Supply, Immediate Repairs, and Madness, of course. But she also has Masterful Smoker, Sooty Thwack, and Blood Fiendish. And the cards are to overcome Crisis, Smoking Pipe, Guidance of the Gears, Smoke Blow, Flesh Fillet, Autonomous Rush, Will the Prescript, Deep Drag, and Exhale Smoke. Lots of offense, lots of damage, lots of attacking. Smoke Overflow provides more strength. Blood Fiendish provides more strength as well as providing more HP. Masterful Smoker provides a bonus to any combat page that has smoke on it, so that's handy. And then obviously Madness can provide bonuses as well. I tried to lean into a bit more of the offensive capabilities of Smoke. I was aware that Flesh Fillet was a big part of it because you can do a lot of bleed with it, but I don't know if I've done it well necessarily. Autonomous Rush is good for gain and inflict because I usually accidentally focus more on inflicting or gaining smoke, and then end up not balancing out very well. Will the Prescript for more card draw. Deep Drag does do card draw, but it's mainly just a really good card. And Exhale Smoke because it's fun and I'd like to use it, and also that paralysis would be very useful, and it's a good clasher, and she gains a fuck ton of smoke. I'll be curious to see how that plays out. Faye is something we're all actually quite familiar with. It's T-Shan Kao. It's T-Shan Kao. She's got Cecil's page. Obviously, she was going to have T-Shan Kao. It goes without saying. So, she has Cecil's page with Speed, Firm as a Great Mountain, Fervor, and Furious... Oh yeah, just those three. And then I gave her Furious Fire Rending the Skies, Volatile Passion, Locked Potential, and Deep Breaths. So we're going Singleton, Lure, T-Shan Kao. We'll see how it goes, but, you know, it could be pretty cool. Yes, Frontal Assault, Single Point Stab, Violent Flame, Flow of the Sword, Gale Kick, Fiery Dragon Slash, Will the Prescript, T-Shan Kao, and Fervid Emotions. Lots of punching and kicking. I will probably use T-Shan Kao whenever I can because I love it so much. Gale Kick, my beloved. Flow of the Sword, I'm actually very keen on because of its ability to get cheaper. Single Point Stab seems like a good idea because it means you'll always have something to play. And Fiery Dragon Slash is both decent, not particularly high numbers, but decent, and also has a counter die, which can be quite useful. Also, Faye will be applying Burn, which will help Swirled, because Swirled needs Burn on targets in order to get a bit more power out of them. And she too also gains power when targets have burn, so they'll be helping each other on this front. A little bit of synergy going on. I think bare minimum she'll fight reasonably well. Not insanely well, but reasonably well. We don't have a lot of card draw, but that's why Will the Prescript is here, because draw free 3 pages is amazing, and it's kind of hard to not get that, like, all the time. I am using more singletons at the moment, purely just for Will the Prescript. Gerardo Pippi, I decided I want big punch, hammer, smash people, and that's what we're going to do. They've got Maxim's page, Speed, Triple Arsu, Rhino Procedure, Bionic Charge, Synchronized Hull, and Maximum Crash. They've got the Commander, because of course, that's a very useful thing to have. Brainwave, Charge, Focusing Antlers, and Emergency Rations. With Energy Shield, 2 Energy Conversions, Absorb Impact, Bulky Impact, Concentration, Rhino Ram ×2, and Ground Crash. It's a bit... I don't know how you describe it, but it's a bit Gerardo Pippi. It's a little bit Gerardo Pippi. We can solve many of our economy issues with energy conversion if we can land it. Yeah, could probably just one-sided with those, because as long as we land the first hit, it's worked well. It does require charge, but we have many means by which to gain charge. 90%, not literally, but 90% of the cards in this deck gain charge through some means or another. Ground Crash we can use as a big mass attack if and when we need it, but I'd rather avoid spending the charge if possible, because obviously Commander is really fucking useful, but if we have a desperate situation, that could do quite a lot. My concern with Gerardo Pippi is that, I'm just having a quick look through to confirm this to myself. Yeah, they don't gain a lot of stats. They don't gain a lot of power for themselves. Now, Bulky Impact is a very well-equipped page in terms of numbers. Like, it's not incredible, but that second die will do some work. Absorb Impact also does well on this front. Concentration is a pretty good mass attack contender. Rhino Ram is strong. It's very strong. Energy Shield kind of sucks, but if it loses, that's great, so I actually like it. It also reduces any damage that Pippi takes, and with all the protection they're gaining, it should be alright. They're also gaining endurance, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and when they lose HP, they gain more endurance, so defensive die will get better. And energy conversion is the iffiest part, but as long as we can just land them, they'll work well. And I think it could work quite well. So, every single time we've done this now, we've fought the Distorted Ensemble, and I maintain that that is the best way to test these decks, but I have to admit, it will probably get quite dull, especially for you guys to watch the same fight over and over and over and over and over again. So, I was thinking we give Tiff's Realization a go, right? We'll probably do fine, because we're using cards way beyond the general threat level of when that realization happens, but it is some unique and interesting challenges that might provide us with a little bit more nuance in how we test these decks, right? Yes. Have you prepared yourself to view the final episode of the Floor of Natural Sciences story? Yes. Here we go. Hey, Roland. Well, this is new, alright? Yeah, it sure is. Alright, now I actually need to remind myself how this fight works, but we've done this before, so I'm going to edit it out. I'm just going to read it myself. You are already gaining your strength, and that's quite good. What are you thinking, Tiff? With love. She's in Blunt Stance. Stance can be changed every 2 scenes, and it costs light to do so. Yeah, I remember. Deal with that, I suppose. Won't be too difficult. Arcana Beats, we do have someone who can deal with this. Actually, we do. It's called Tiff. Tiff has something that can deal with that. Yeah, switch to slashing stance. We'll do that. Ah, yeah, see, I didn't realize maybe we wouldn't draw any of our one cost. Okay, that's fine. Well, Burning Flash will absolutely beat Arcana Beats, so we don't have to worry about that. Gale Kick would deal with love, so that's fine, that's fine. And then In the Name of Justice, God, it has been a while, hasn't it, since we've seen this stuff. I reckon Class and Respect can deal with In the Name of Justice. That should be alright. You're also going to need to draw cards, and you can do that. You can't do anything else because it costs too much. That's fine. You need to start accumulating charge even, but you also need to not use all your cards straight away. And also, you're not going to gain emotion levels this turn, so yeah. Gain some light, but don't go too or charge, but don't go too crazy. You need more cards, so go for that. We're going to play it fairly chill on the first turn, not go too crazy. Which I can't remember if that's the way to fight this or not, but fuck it, we'll be fine. Well, that's not ideal. That's not ideal either. I severely underestimated Roland. Okay, that's interesting. That worked out. Alright, yeah, so I might need to be a little bit more careful here than I have been. Because I was kind of expecting a lot of these attacks to just be successful. So you've marked Ruina. Okay. None of your attacks gain bonuses against marked targets, so that's fine. It's just the Hysteria stuff. We want to get Violet Blade in there, I think. We can't swap, can we? No, because we've... Yeah, stuff starts can be changed every 2 scenes. We haven't done that yet. So... just have a go in with that. You've got Class and Respect, so that didn't work out for you last time, though. Having said that, you are gaining more power now. I reckon you got it. Give it a go. And then Serpent Sword Technique, draw more cards. You're going to have to deal with that because no one else is fast enough, and that's okay. Not really gaining any power at the moment. Deep Drag will be the way. I don't think she'll gain an emotion level this turn, so... Go into the gears, get some light going, and you can't... all you can do is Fiery Dragon Slash, but that's something. And you spend 4 charge, gain 3 charge. So you would lose a charge. Yeah, it seems worth it, because you're not going to gain the motion level this turn, so you're going to need the light. So, yeah, go with that for now. And it'll be some decent damage as well, so it'll work out. Interesting to see how this is going without, like, it's actually more interesting to see how these decks do when you don't draw the ideal cards, because it's all very well and good to make a deck and be like, this will work perfectly if I draw this and then have this and then use this, but how does a deck manage if the ideal circumstances do not present themselves? That's like the cornerstone of strategy. How do you deal with less than ideal circumstances? And that's what we need to test. Good stuff. Big damage, big wins. Oh yes. It's going better. Hey, that went very well. And then they're just going to come in and be on his ass for a while. Probably land a stagger soon, actually. A lot of burn as well, which is very helpful. Hopefully we can get him before he does the whole, like, fucking dragon shit. Well, none of these are the, cards required for Nil or Nyx or whatever the fuck it's called, I can't remember, so I guess don't worry about it too much. We'll give that to Tiff, because she's going to be a good clasher. Yes, but you see the thing did happen. Oh, yeah. At least she's not using, or at least he's not using a mass attack. Lucky me. I didn't think he'd get all of his health back. See, I didn't think that would happen. So the mass attack is coming soon. Faye needs more light, which... oh, they're not having a good turn, actually. They've got deep breaths. They're just going to have to sit back and do nothing this turn. It is a bit different to build a deck around fighting one character, I will say. So I guess I was expecting, just because, you know, we've been fighting the reverberations so much that it's just been the case. I guess I was expecting more clashing. For everyone. So the emotion levels aren't doing what I would initially expect them to. Let's switch to piercing stance. Should be able to deal with that. You're doing all right. You gain +2 power to pierce die and +1 to pierce. Oh yeah, no, it's all good. All right. Hatred. That marks the target. Okay. Hatred is a pretty big one, but Rhino Ram should do the trick. It just means Gerardo Pippi won't do anything else this turn. And then Light of Hatred. If target gets 5+ smoke, inflict 3 paralysis next scene. Yeah, go for that. That's a good thing to jump on now. And then you actually do need smoke, so start working on that. Okay, you take a break. You don't do anything too crazy because you're going to need stuff next turn. Get some cards. Oh, your cards are too fast. It's fine. We'll make it work. So do that. Switch that back to Tiff. And that should be alright. This might actually be quite a slow fight because I need to play it in a certain way. Very nice. Very good. Marvelous. Oh, yes. That's fine. Yeah. So that's extra paralysis next turn. That was a big hit. Lots of damage. Cool, cool, cool. Good, good, good. May as well get justice. We've only got one enemy. Oh, wait, yeah, no, unlocking is going up. Okay, so this does work. Very good. Now you're doing your mass attack. Yeah, Arcana Slave, which is mass summation. I suspect that Faye will not succeed at this. Although we've gone Commander active and that will help, but the way I see it, Faye has to try, right? There's no point in her not trying. And use single point stab as well. Rhino Ram would deal with it, and then use energy conversion to keep your stuff going. You... For every 2 emotion levels, and so World is at emotion level 1 right now, so Fervent Emotions is not actually gaining any power from its intrinsic effect. That's important to keep in mind. Arcana Slave is 16 to 20. I can't remember if that's going to be affected by paralysis. I assume it will be. Crack of Dawn should do it. Your best chance is well the prescripts, but you are gaining 5 strength, so yeah, you'll probably be alright. Yeah, you'll probably be fine. And you've got laceration, so you're doing good. Okay. And then we got Light of Hatred. That'd be 7 to 12. That's 7 to 13. Give it a try. I reckon it'll be alright. And then just lean in on their vulnerable die. I would use Flesh Fillet, but there's actually no point because at the end of this turn, in the name of love and hate, will be beaten, so we're actually fine. Use Smoking Pipe to prepare for the next round. Do that just to see if you can get your... Yeah, you'll get your blade unlock, and that'll be good. And draw some cards. Go for it. Everyone succeeded! Hey! It worked out pretty well. Yeah, that did it. Okay, cool. Round 2. Oh yeah, this. Okay, right, yeah, I just need to remember how to do this. Faye, you're not having a great battle. Just in general. She needs to clash with something or she's never gonna fucking get anywhere. Crackle. Yeah, I can feed these guys to Faye and start getting her emotion level up, and then she'll start doing better. Or she'll get more light and be able to do stuff. That'll probably be quite good. Kindly make way. Kindly make way. I'll read through the necessary effects off camera. Alright, so Friend of Angry Roland will primarily target the staves, but only Friend of Angry Roland can kill the Hermit, so we gotta get rid of the staves. Simple enough. I think we can handle it. Good news is the Hermit is targeting us because they're actually very fast. Got that 20 charge. Can this be used yet? Yeah, it actually can. Now's not the time, but it can be used. But this does mean that all of Gerardo Pippi's effects are now in play, including Maximum Crash. So they're going to hit like a truck. That will go first, which means Bulky Impact will then regain the charge spent by energy conversion. We'll keep all of our effects. So that's good. Kindly make way. Kindly make way for these nuts. Takes no damage from burn, bleed, or erosion, but if the hermit at least has burn on it, then Swirled and Fae will both gain power for it, so it's still beneficial. Tiff is almost fully unlocked, and I reckon Celestial Spear can do it. But we won't go too crazy, because after this turn, I want her to swap decks. Again. So, Fae, I need you to fight these. I need you to fight them. I need you to fight them, because, oh boy, you're just not doing anything right now. Alright, that should be fine. Yeah, we can make this work. Good stuff, good stuff. She does get the burn, so we do benefit from that. Good, good, yes. Yes, Faye got the clashes. Yes. Wow, Faye. Wow. I guess they didn't have burns, so no bonuses, but that was still pretty pathetic. Good stuff. Yeah, there it is. Blade unlocked. Tiff just got stronger. These guys are gonna get fucked up. Yep. I love that there's an attack called Ack. Makes me happy. Friend of Anger is pretty fun. Faye gained an emotion level and got more health back, so that's quite good. Also, she now has more light, and we can use that. You're doing a mass attack? I didn't think you'd be doing that already. It's mass individual? Okay. I would use T-Shan Cow. Well, actually, no, I could probably... Yeah, fuck it. T-Shan Cow. Let's go. If we're not using T-Shan Cow, we should be asking ourselves, why aren't we using T-Shan Cow? Absorb Impact will do the trick. Don't use any more cards this turn. It'd be a waste. Fervid Emotions, just in case. You can deal with that as well. Also, I did notice that the Hermit Staffs were also gaining bonuses. So, yeah, that's a thing. Like, she's providing them with bonuses. I want you to switch it up. We're going to switch to Blunt now, because it's just time to do some damage. Use Duel, and then use Great Serpent's Impact, and she will absolutely stagger this turn. There's fuck all she can do about it. Cool. Everyone block that, and everyone block that. Wow, this Hermit is lame. Lame. Yes, do it. Yeah. And a stagger. Oh, wow, she's gonna get fucking bodied. I just realized we fucked up, though. Then again, Roland will basically get 3 attacks on her next turn, so it'll be fine. Yeah, because all the Hermit staves are dead now, and the Hermit themselves is staggered, so yeah, it'll work just fine. We'll get Companion, that looks pretty good. We'll give it to Tiff. We're basically giving Tiff everything. May as well. It leans into the whole, you know, she tries to take care of everything herself kind of deal. So we don't need to go too crazy this turn. We really don't. Wait, you're using Embodiments of Evil, but everything was fine. You didn't even oh, you took some damage. How did you take some damage? How did you do it? Fine, we're gonna have to play this turn entirely different then. Good thing I noticed that. So what are the numbers? Pretty small, it's just that there are 3 die. Okay, Fiery Waltz. He is gaining 4 strength. Concentration. This might not actually go very well. I don't know, we'll see. 7. Failed. Those failed. Not too bad overall, but not brilliant either. Get him, Roland. There we go. Okay, well, that was a thing. And now the music switches up and becomes cool. And to be fair, like, everyone loves, you know, the different Magical Girl iterations of Roland. But this is the coolest one, come on. Look at that. Like, look, there's a constellation of stars on his cape. This is great. This is fantastic. All right, once again, I'll remind myself of the fight gimmicks, but I won't subject you to it. When a Sword of Tears takes lethal damage, falls into despair next turn. Alright, so we want to focus on this one. Problem is we have fuck all light, so that is a bit of an issue. I'll admit. I'm willing to acknowledge that it might be an issue. That's 3 normal attacks. Not ranged. Fiery Dragon Slash. Faded Faith. We'll need someone to intercept that. Smoking Pipe should do it. I reckon so. And then we all focus on that. You've got forward march now. That's very good. You're going to need the light desperately. Die deals damage equal to dice value times 2% of target's max HP, so that can be quite damaging. Okay. Speed is an issue this turn. Speed is definitely an issue. And light. Of course, light is actually the main issue, because Tifrith could deal with virtually anything, but she doesn't have the light to do it. Yeah, there's a bit of an issue, isn't there? Alright, we're gonna go risky. See if we can beat that with Smoking Pipe. I know, it doesn't look great. And I'm not really expecting a miracle, but it could work. And you know what I always say, or I've started to say, is that you miss all the shots you don't take. So we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna give it a fucking go. We're gonna give it a hecking shitting go. Yeah, we are. And then you can still deal with it very well. You take some damage, but you'll be fine. It's not that much damage. Gaining 2 strength, not gaining any bonus power from burns, so... But you are gaining bonus power to slash. Yeah, Serpent Sword Technique will take care of that. And then we lean in on this guy. But I don't want to lean in too crazy-like, because we're not doing well for light at the moment. This will have to do for now. Curious to see how this turns out. Oh, that was pretty good though. Hey, it was pretty good. I was quite happy with it. That went well, honestly. Nice. Good. Oh yeah. Went very well. Nice. Yes. So now Roland will fall into despair. That's good. We made it happen. When the character falls into despair, all swords fully recover HP, stagger, use special pages. If all swords impale the character in despair state, becomes staggered and targetable. If this fails to deal any damage to its target while in despair state, the sword will impale Roland, dealing damage to him. Okay, so we need to beat these. They're all very slow, so we can work with this. We might have to stay in blunting stance for a while because light is just too low. But she will go up to emotion level 4 soon, so it'll be alright. But high kick will deal with this. She gains many bonuses to blunt. And she gains strength. And she gains dice power. She'll be fine. She's probably also gaining the 12 fixes. Yeah, this. Yeah. So she's doing good. Gale kick just to make sure. I don't want to risk fucking it up. And then finally, Rhino Ram will do it. Rhino Ram will fucking do it. And none of the other bits of damage we could do would make a difference right now, so it's just about beating these 3. And if we do, they'll all impale Roland, and then we can lean in on him. Come on. Yes. That's 1. That's 2. Oh, it's 3. Oh, you love to see it. You do. Roland, you're fucked, mate. Intemperance. Patif. Oh, buddy, you're gonna have a bad turn. Oh, you're gonna have a bad... Oh, you're gonna have a bad turn. You're gonna have a bad turn. Yes, you are. You love to see it. And frontal assault. Don't waste any light. We're gonna need it for the next battle. Get ready for the next battle. Yeah, he's fucked. Yeah, there's no way. Cool. And now Gold Rush. Is this the best move? No, but I want to play Tishan Kao, so I will. You know I can't help it. You know I can't help it. I love Tishan Kao. You know this to be true. You do. So we need to inflict a bunch of smoke on him so we can inflict paralysis, so... Autonomous rush. But it remains a turn where I don't want to go too crazy. It's not necessary. We got him. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's good. I like these guys. It's hard to judge them effectively from this in the grand scheme of things because we're not up against a reverberation ensemble, but they seem to work relatively well when things get going. But then again, there are multiple differences between this and the sword ensemble, not least of which is the amount of attacks and speed die that we need to deal with. Here we're dealing with 3. Against the sword ensemble, we're dealing with like 10. This all has an effect on a character's survivability, economy, card draw, light gain, clashing potential in good and bad situations. There are many other things to take into consideration here, but it is interesting to see the deck working to an extent. He has burn. This will gain power. What power? Let's see. Okay, you've got fervor as well. I forgot about fervor. So that's also providing power. Flow of the sword will do it. That's 3. Which you could deal with, but I think we have better options. Yeah. Maybe Fleet Edge. I'd like to hold on to Laceration in case there's a mass attack of any kind. Do that, should be okay. And then that's Overwhelming Luster, which you can absolutely deal with. I'm noticing a lack of card draw, which is a bit of an issue, I'll admit. We'll go fairly controlled on that, but I want to inflict more smoke on him because it'll be useful for us. It also inflicts more damage to him, which is great. Serpent Sword technique for more cards. Yeah, do it twice. And then for you, brace up, because it's always a good idea. Taste test for more light. And this will work out just fine, I reckon. Oh. No chance. Foolish. Kind of surprised that failed, actually. Well, it didn't fail, it was neutral, but still surprised. The good news is these negative effects will carry on to the next scene. So anything we inflict on him now is good. Good. Okay. You're not doing a mass attack yet, but your attacks are becoming more powerful. We can deal with this. We can absolutely deal with this. It's not a problem. It is not a problem. Ah, all the negative effects were removed. Okay, yeah, that does affect things. Because 2 of us aren't gaining power for that anymore. Interesting. Okay, interesting. No more smoke. Interesting. Okay. Concentration to deal with that. I reckon you've got it. I think you can do it. I'm confident in you. Fixation is a little scary. I mean, yeah, it is, but... I mean, in this specific context. Krakenzorn's only gaining 1 power, though, thanks to Enduring. Or at least the defensive die is. So... It's 4 to 9 versus 3 to 7, which means, yeah, we have a good chance of winning, but at the same time, it's far from guaranteed. If he does a mass attack next turn, we'll want to make sure we can beat it. And that should be alright for now. Staying reserved, because, you know, I'm fully aware that we've got another phase after this one, so I never want to, like, gas ourselves too hard. Gotta be temperate about it. That worked out. That also worked out. Good. Wonderful. Not great, but whatever. Kind of expected it, to be honest. That's helpful. The smoke is good. Ideal, although that only just won, I noticed. Like, I was actually quite close. No mass attack yet. But with Fragile and Bleed and Burn and all of these good things, we may well be able to stagger him before he gets to do his big move. In fact, see if we can make that happen. With Great Serpent's Impact, it's distinctly possible. We could lean in on a power play. That might be fun. Maybe we should. Only gaining 1 strength, not tons. Tisha and Cal can deal with fixation. Absolutely. Use Great Serpent's Impact to deal with that. Then Duel to deal with that. And that'll be a lot of stagger damage. Then you're gonna need, you need cards as well. Let's do a high kick and a forward march. And it should be a lot of extra stagger damage. I want to use this turn to kind of lean in, I think. Yeah, let's go for it. It's decent, decent. Oh yeah. I don't think we'll get the stagger though. I don't think it's gonna happen. Keep trying for it, but I'm not so sure now. Big hit. Oh, it's just gonna be death. Okay, yeah, that works too. All right, fine. I was going for the stagger, but that's all right. We have companions, so I think that'd help. And then everything we've built for our deck becomes meaningless in this phase. I'm pretty sure. Yes, going just fine. Yeah, take that extra damage. Yeah, that'll deal with you. So I guess really the evaluation of the build has ended now, right? The deck. Or at least the test of the deck has ended because this has nothing to do with it anymore. This is just a normal fight. We'll say, like, this is a very cool and fun sequence, but I did this ages ago and it's not a surprise to me anymore, so I'm not getting a lot from it, as it were. I just kind of want to get through it so we can round things off. Cool, well, I think we'll end it here, won't we? Surely, maybe, perhaps. There's the Saga. Yeah, he's fucked. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, we're done here. Oof. Big hit. Cool. Okay. I forgot how fucking long that final stage took, so I just didn't talk through most of it because we've fucking seen it before. And it doesn't test the team at all. Like, it has nothing to do with the team build out. It didn't even have anything to do with Tifrith's build because she gets debuffed so dramatically during that phase that it doesn't matter. I think this is why. Well, if I was playing optimally, I would have kept Gerardo Pippi as being the one who stayed for that fight, because then Commander would have provided all the magical girls with a little bonus, but not necessary. Didn't matter. It's a fun gimmick fight, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything bad about the fight. It's a good fight. It's just not necessary for our purposes. But the rest of it, certainly. Though the main reason why I did this was so that we could do something a little different. Otherwise, I would have just done the Reverberation Ensemble again. Tiff stuff seems to work alright. It's okay. This isn't awful, but it's far from utilizing the full potential of the purple tier. I realize that, 100%. She seemed to maintain her stuff better later on. Blunt and Pierce are decent builds. I never used Guard. It wasn't necessary, but then again, this fight was never going to push us to the point where it might be necessary. I'm not keen on stance switching because of the light cost. If it wasn't for the light cost, I would do stance switching all the fucking time, but because it costs a light to do it each time, I don't like doing it. Instead, I prefer to build the purple tier around a specific damage type and stick to it, because the bonuses you get are pretty fucking strong. Although, of course, you do gain more bonuses when you've only just switched to a different stance, so there's that. But I don't know. I'm not saying it's a bad mechanic to have it cost light to switch. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying I personally don't like it, and it's why I don't use it. It's a cool idea, and it is fun to switch between the different stances, I'll admit, but given the choice, I would probably stick to one stance. But this seemed fine, I don't know, I don't have a lot to say about it. So World worked out pretty well, honestly. Like, it is dealing with the realms of things I have worked with before, so I'm not overly surprised. It was just a tweak to something I did previously, but damage and clashing potential are definitely there. Flow of the Sword becomes quite powerful once everything gets going, and then once its cost is reduced, it becomes free. I'd say maybe replace one Serpent Sword technique with a Flow of the Sword and have more cheap, good clashing cards. Then again, that only draws 1 page, so it is good to have multiple. But I'd, yeah, probably get rid of one of those. Class of Respect is fine. Fervent Emotions, I like Fervent Emotions, but it is a bit expensive, so I don't know. Fiery Waltz is fine, although it does pretty much guarantee the Swirl will take a hit because Swirl doesn't have any defensive bonuses. I guess it would gain a bonus from if the opponent had Burn and if Swirl had Burn. No, it's only offensive die that are affected by that. Yeah, so Fiery Waltz's evade die gains absolutely 0 bonuses, so that doesn't lean into the build very well. The benefit of it is for fights with a lot of combatants, because being able to inflict burn to all enemies would mean potentially that Swirl could fight whoever they want and still gain their offensive die bonuses. So that is alright, I suppose. I like it. It's not the best thing ever, but I do like this build. I like I like the Crack of Dawn focus, really. I like the focus on this page. I can't remember what it's called. Who is this? Salvador. Yeah, I like Salvador. I like the focus on Salvador's stuff because Salvador is fucking cool. And that is pretty much the motivation behind this build, but I enjoyed doing it. This seemed to work very well. Like, I don't know, Madness combined with Blood Fiendish and the various bonuses from Smoke and some decent, if not the best, Smoke cards means she gains a lot of power and can utilize it effectively. I can't sit here and say, oh yes, this deck was a success because we went up against Tiff's Realization, and that's just not dangerous enough, really, to test it properly. But it did give me some insight into how to use these cards, how to put them together, maybe an easier challenge to let me figure out how these things work. And this works pretty well. As it currently stands, because I don't know, I would need to experiment more with offensive Smoke builds in order to fully understand this. I wouldn't currently change anything, but this is why your feedback is important, so you can be like, I don't know, let's just use a random example. Overcome Crisis isn't really necessary, probably be better if it was replaced with this. Stuff like that, you know, but as I can currently see, there doesn't seem to be anything that needs changing. It seems to function fine. I love this because I love Tishan Kao, and it seems to work pretty well. Fervor provided bonuses after a while, which was good. Volatile Passion and Locked Potential provide more bonuses, and the cards themselves punch pretty high. Like Tishan Kao is an effective card, not the best card in the game by a wide margin, but it is effective. The first die sucks, the second die rules. Fervent Emotions, same as what I said for Swirl, really. I love Gale Kick. Fiery Dragon Slash, sure, it does require bonuses to work, and Flow of the Sword is great. Violent Flame is fine. It's mainly for inflicting burn. Seems okay. Gerardo Pippi, I think this is a great idea. Amassing all that charge, gaining defensive bonuses, being able to pay off with high amount, to be fair, quite high amounts of damage. 12 to 25 is nothing to sniff at. That's high clash potential. Bulky Impact hits pretty hard. Absorb Impact is better defensively. Energy Conversion, you're basically dealing damage and, you know, gaining economy. It's a decent damage dealing card, I suppose, for what it is. I never got to use Ground Crash, but I bet that hits like a truck. Having him have Commander just makes sense because you want to keep Maxim's energy as high as possible to get Maximum Crash? Yeah, Maximum Crash. You want Maximum Crash. So it makes sense to have the energy to do that and also have Commander going at the same time. And then also deal more stagger damage with 11 charge, so hitting harder as well. Overall, happy with that. I'm happy with the team, but I don't feel like I've tested it properly is kind of the issue. But a fight against the ensemble would take fucking ages. It always does. Overall, though, I am pleased with these builds. I'd like to lean into a bit more slashy swordsmen that aren't focusing on singular strike and see if I can make something happen with that. I'm always looking for more opportunities to build more lure decks because they're fun, and I can do Tishan Kao, and that's always fun, but I probably won't do a Cecil or May one next time. I'll switch it up a little bit. That works fine. That's cool, but I do prefer defensive, and Purple Tier, I've never been hugely in love with it anyway, and it's fine. It's more than fine. It's actually really good. Just Purple Tier decks in general are usually really good, but I'm not in love with them. They're a bit dull, in my opinion. It's weird, because the Purple Tier brings a unique mechanic. Stance switching is not used anywhere else, and yet I find the Purple Tier a bit dull to play as. I don't know. Not sure why. A personal taste thing for sure. That's not representative of its quality or its dynamicness as a gameplay mechanic. It's just I don't particularly find it interesting to use. stance switching is interesting, but at the end of the day, all it does is just provide really high buffs. It's like Myongis in the sense that it's like, yeah, these are basically just not I win buttons, but they're kind of like that. I guess you could go purple tier Myongis on the floor of technology leaning into blunt and just be unstoppable. But it is a cool concept. Next time will be the floor of language, and I really need to think about how I'm going to do this, to be honest. Because, yeah. There's a lot I could do, and a lot that would just be making Geb the strongest in the world, or just making Geb inconsequential, and neither feels quite right. I don't want Geb to be the complete and utter focus of the team, but I don't want to ignore her either. It's going to be a difficult one, but that'll probably be in the relatively distant future because we've got some stuff to take care of between now and then. But that's all for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons: Cryolytic, Abyssal Angie, Grand Captain General Peace, Beanbag Turtle, Malignant Humor, Zanael, Cuds, Kana Samaria, Poe, Pork Chop Lebrecht, Scrubby Doo, Lifesteal, Mega Mr. Seaman, Unclever Name, Lumen, Summercat, Flanny, Pinch Dragoon, Lara the Haxeye, Lip Potatoes, Proxy, Caminero, Moa, Heartland, Harrick J, Dresso, Sion Distance, Lol, Efrabin, Linky, Zeon, Cedar, Bimblewatts, Majoko, Myra Now, Kia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Jess Kitty, Plutonium, Pie, Dream, Ghost, Apple, Lullaby, K-Bob, Magic Cow, The Frostbite, Monsoon, SCP-1068, Namad, and Kenny T800 for support me on YouTube and Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, it was a pretty cool idea to try out a realization, but deep in my heart, all I could think the whole time was, this isn't the best way to test them, though. Like, and that's kind of the point, is to be testing these builds out and see how they do. And yeah, the realization fights are kind of fun the first time. I don't know. Once you know them, you know them. Especially the floor of natural sciences. Maybe that was a bit of a unfortunate example due to how that ends, but at the same time, this is just the realizations in general. Once you know them, you know them. Like, yeah, sure, we know the Distorted Ensemble by now, but they're strong enough that knowing them isn't enough to beat them. It requires solid building and tactics to win, whereas against the realization, well, it was like 15 speed die against 3 at any encounter, so it was like, just pick the best ones and then slap them in the side. I know the realizations vary greatly, but it just doesn't feel like the best way to test these decks. I don't know, if you liked it, if you were like, oh, I enjoyed watching it be tested by the realization, then we'll probably do that more in the future. To be fair, Floor of Language's realization is pretty fucking hype, considering it ends with mimicry, so I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. If you guys enjoy it, then fuck it. Who cares if it's like the most stringent testing process ever? It doesn't matter at all. At the end of the day, I'm not looking to be a super good Ruina player, I'm just looking to refamiliarize myself and get better at it through a fun little series. So the key point there is it needs to be fun, right? So if you guys are having fun, I'm having fun too. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, I hope I see you there. Doodles, goodbye.